Welcome everyone, I'm Gayle, and this class is going to focus on our whole body, on our total body from head to toe, everything in between. So we're going to be doing some strengthening and lengthening and stretching and moving and balancing and hopefully having a lot of fun and learning in the process. So let's start by coming onto our backs. With your feet on the floor, knees up toward the sky. And first, just let your whole back relax. You can always press into your arms and lift your shoulders a little bit away from your hips so that you actually maybe come into a slight posterior tilt, meaning your tailbone is reaching towards your heels. Notice your back. Notice what's touching the floor. Ideally, in this position, your whole back should be on the floor, resting easily on the floor. And focus on your rib cage moving as you breathe. So as you inhale, feel the rib cage expand. And as you exhale, feel the rib cage release and maybe even contract a little bit or just come back to neutral place. Breathe in and out through your nose. And let your body completely relaxed. Let your body completely relax. So we start in a relaxed state with an empty, open mind. Now, focusing on your low back, lift your front sit bones up a little bit so you create space. There's a little arch. And then pull the front sit bones down and back so you flatten your low back. And just go back and forth. It's just a little motion. It's like a cat-cow, but it's not a full cat-cow. Good. Now press your low back into the floor. Straighten your legs. Keep your low back pressing down. So you have to make an effort to do this. Reach your arms over your head and reach your legs up. Keep pressing down through your belly. Try and keep that low back flat. And then reach out through your fingers and your toes. On an exhale, hug your knees into your chest. And on an inhale, keep that a little bit of a rounded back and stretch out. And exhale, hug in, squeeze. Inhale, stretch out and reach. Two more of those. Exhale, hug in. Inhale, reach. Last one. Exhale, hug in. Inhale, reach. And come back to your feet on the floor and just notice how you feel. Notice if your body is starting to wake up or wake up a little bit more than it was. And now bring your heels in as close as you can to your hips, about hip distance apart, and start to tuck the tailbone so it actually lifts off the floor and start to lift it up one vertebrae at a time. Press down through your feet and hug in through your knees. Keep letting your back lift up. And then slowly lower down from the upper back, through the middle back, down into the low back, keeping the hips lifted until the very last moment. And then lower your hips down. So again, we're trying to move slowly and feel each vertebrae lifting almost independently, but interdependently as well. But feeling a little bit of separation between each vertebrae so that you can create space. Now, next time we start to lift up, we're going to start to lift our arms up as well. So you're peeling your back away from the floor and reaching your arms over your head. As you come down, keep your arms where they are and slowly Lower your back, vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way down. Again, inhale, lift up, nice and slow. And then exhale, lower down just as slowly. Being very mindful, trying to feel all the vertebrae as they slowly lower. Last time, literally think of peeling up one vertebrae at a time, doing the best you can, but setting that intention. And one more time, slowly lower down, keeping the arms where they are, maybe even stretching your fingertips out a little bit longer. And let your back touch down last. Bring your arms up, lower them down by your side. And pull your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug. And rock on up into tabletop. And lower your forearms to the floor. Walk your hands forward so that your arms aren't straight, but they're at a very small angle. And then lift up through your arms, reach forward through your wrists, coming onto your fingertips. And then slowly lower down, coming onto the palm of your hands, picking your fingers up. And slowly lower down, reach forward. Feel that stretch all the way into your shoulders. And lower your hands back down, pick the fingers up, pull your fingers back towards your shoulders. Again, lower the hands down, lift up, stretch forward. And then lower the hands down, pick your hands up, fingers up, hands up, and lower down again, lifting forward. And hands back down, fingertips up. Walk your hands back into a tabletop position. And we'll begin a cat-cow. So as you inhale, stretch your chest forward as you lift your tailbone up. Squeeze the back of your shoulders towards each other. And as you exhale, push into the floor, round your spine, spreading the shoulder blades up away from each other, relaxing your chin towards your chest. And just go back and forth at your own pace, moving nice and slowly. And walk your hands forward, lower down to the floor, and stretch your arms forward and your toes back. Let your forehead come to the floor. Then push into your hands, push into your feet, and see if you can just lift your low ribs up. And lower down. Good, inhale, push into your hands. Try and keep your chest relatively low to the floor as you lift up your low ribs and lower down. One more time, push into your hands, lift up through your ribs. And then slide your hands back by your side and curl up into your cobra. Nice, extend your chest forward as you lower down. Inhale, rise up into your cobra. And exhale, stretch forward as you lower down. Again, inhale, rise up. Exhale, stretch it forward. And come and sit back on your heels. And we're going to do something that's very strengthening but kind of hard, and it's working on that compression of drawing your thighs in towards your belly, and your back will round a little bit, but it'll really work on this strength to kind of lift you up. So start. Now if you have yoga blocks, it could be really nice to use yoga blocks, or you could use a couple of books. But place your hands down behind your knees, in front of your hips, and bow over your leg, like you're trying to touch your belly towards your thighs. And press into your hands, lift up, pulling your knees up nice and high and reaching forward, and lower back down again. So we're going to do that 2 more times. So press into the floor, going to suck your belly in, pull up. Try and get your thighs and your ribs close together. And lower down. Last one. So you just do the best you can. Keep lifting, spreading the shoulder blades, and lower down. So we're going to do a few more, but I'm going to give you options to lift one foot off the floor at a time. And if you're really good at this, if you practice a lot and you can get both feet off the floor, go for it. So let's start by coming back down, pressing up, lift your right foot off the floor, drawing your heel towards your hip. Hold it here and lower down. Take a breath, take a break, lean forward again, push in, lift up. Pick your right foot up again. Squeeze your heel towards your hip and lower down. So this isn't easy, but getting stronger isn't easy in my experience. So again, come over your legs, push down to lift up. Pick that right foot up if you can and lower down. We'll take just a short break and then we'll do the same thing, pulling the left foot up. Okay, so bow over your legs, press into your hands, spread your shoulders, pull your knees up. Pick the left foot up and lower down. Again, lean forward, draw your legs up. Pick your right foot up if you can, and lower down. Last one, come forward, lift up, pick your foot up, and lower down. Okay, so some people, I mean, if you have a lot of strength, you can literally pick both legs up off the floor. Now, I can't do that, but what I am gonna try and do with you is make an effort to do that and see what happens. Like maybe I'll get a little hover for a second. I'm not really sure, I haven't been practicing this lately, but I know this is a really good thing to practice. So again, bring your hands down, push into the floor, lift your knees up, and maybe, so I pushed off the floor to lift my feet up just a little bit. Let's try it again 2 more times. So push down, lift up, lean forward. See if you can even just get this sense of your feet floating off the floor. Maybe someday I'll do another video and I'll be able to lift up. We'll see. So consistency is key, you gotta practice it. So push down, lift your knees up, squeeze those heels in, or back down. Bring your hands forward and step back into down dog. And just bend one knee at a time. Stretching out your heels, but keep that little bit of lift that we were practicing so you don't sag into down dog, but you create strength as you stretch. Now inhale, come forward into up dog, so keep the toes tucked. In this up dog, press back to your heels, pull your shoulders back and press your heart forward. And see if you can engage your glutes and even try and do a little bit of posterior tilt. And lift back up again into your down dog. Inhale, round forward. Coming into a modified up dog. And exhale, lift back into down dog. Again, inhale forward. Lower your hips, arch your spine. And exhale back. Nice. Step your left foot in a little bit, reach your right leg up high. And pull your heel to your hip, your knee to your chest, just like we've been doing. Step your foot all the way forward to your hand. Lower your back knee down. Reach your arms up and stretch your knee forward. And then shift your hips back. And inhale, stretch forward. And exhale, glide back. So you can keep your toes down or you can lift them. Again, inhale forward. Exhale back. One more time. Inhale forward. Exhale back. This time when we come forward, Bring your left hand out to the left a little bit. Maybe walk your left knee back. Bend your left knee. Sweep your right arm around and back. Find your foot. And just gently draw your heel in towards your chest. You should feel a pretty good quad stretch and even up into your hip flexors. And then just like in Cobra, open up through your back. Slight back bend and a twist. Release your foot. Step back into down dog. On your next inhale, step your right foot in a little bit, reach your left leg up. And pull your heel to your hip, draw your knee into your chest, step your foot forward, lower your back knee down. Inhale, rise up. And then exhale, stretch your knee forward, keeping the heel down. And inhale, stretch back. You can reach your arms back or keep them forward. You could keep them on the ground. Inhale, forward. And exhale back. Again, inhale forward. So it's really important to have good dorsiflexion and to have choices. So our knee is made to go past our ankle. We need that to squat, to climb. Good, one more time. And this time come forward, place your right hand a little wider than your mat or wider than your shoulder. Bend your right knee, reach back with your left hand for your right foot. Gently draw your heel in towards your hip and open your chest up toward the sky. So be aware, is your foot sickling? Is your foot everting, inverting? See if you can find like a neutral foot, but at least be aware of what you're doing, where your foot is, what kind of shape it has, what angle your ankle has. Just release your foot and step back into down dog. So we're gonna do a variation of what we just did, but this time with our back knee off the floor. And if that feels too challenging for you, or you want to keep your knee down and do the same thing we just did, feel free to do that. On your next inhale, sweep your right leg up. And on your exhale, step your foot all the way forward. So here's where, you can keep the back leg lifted like I am or lower it back down. Rise up, crescent lunge. And then shift your weight forward, lower your knee down. Think of stretching your knee past your toes and then lift up again, straighten the legs and reach back. So we're going back and forth kind of at a diagonal. Just holding your balance. Hopefully the core work that we did earlier will help you to balance doing this, going back and forth. And then come back into crescent lunge and lower the back heel down, coming into warrior two. Press down into your back heel. Actually, let's straighten our front leg. Shift our weight back into the back heel. And then keeping that weight in the back heel, drive your knee forward. And straighten your leg. Stretch back. And press forward. One more time, straighten your leg, reach back, and press forward. Now start to reach forward as you reach your arms back and press into your front foot, reach the back leg up. Coming into a warrior three variation. Really reach out through the toes. And lightly step back into your warrior one. And back to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, sweep your left leg up. And hug in and step it forward. Rise up, crescent lunge. Remember, you can keep this right knee down or keep it lifted. But we're gonna bring it down anyway, so as you bend, lower your knee, Stretch your left knee forward and lift up. Straighten your front leg and reach back. So inhale, come forward. Lower down, reach forward. And exhale, come back, pushing into both feet, squeezing your thighs towards each other. 2 more times. Reach forward. And glide back. Last one. Reach it forward. And glide it back. Then come back into crescent lunge. Rotate the back heel down and in for warrior one. Straighten your front leg and lean back into your back heel. Keep that weight in your back heel as you stretch your front knee forward and shift your weight back. Try and keep your hips square towards the front of your mat and come forward again. Shift back. One more time, come forward and shift back. And then as you reach forward, start to lift off that back leg, floating it up into a warrior three variation. Really reach out through your toes, lift up through the ribs. And lightly step it back into warrior one. And back to downward facing dog. And come up onto your tiptoes and either step forward or hop forward. Lift and spread all your toes. Lower them down, keeping the space between your toes as best you can. Lift up through your inner arches and press down into the tripod of your foot. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Just let your arms relax by your sides. And find a nice balance so that your feet feel evenly weighted between your big toe mound, your pinky toe mound, center of your heel. And then see if you can balance your knee over your ankle, your hip over your knee, your shoulders over your hips, and your head in between your rib cage. So the head, kind of the ears, more or less in line with the shoulders. And we're going to play with that hugging in action again and see how it helps us to balance coming into warrior three. So in your next inhale, reach your arms up as you pull your left knee up into your chest, and then take your hands down, hug your ankle or your shin, and just kind of hug that knee in as tightly as you can, letting your back round. And keeping that shape, start to bow like you're coming into warrior three. And pull back up again. See how much you can hold this as you reach your arms up. And again, hold onto your ankle, pull in, keep that, your thighs lifting up into your ribs. And now reach your arms forward and your leg back, coming into warrior three. See if we can stay here a few breaths, reaching through the toes, reaching through the fingertips. And then pull your knee back in as you reach your arms up. As you stretch your leg forward, pull your hips back a little bit and slowly lower your arms and legs down together. All right, so how'd that feel? I feel like all that core work really helps in a balance pose like warrior three. So let's try it on the other side. So start with your Tadasana, being aware of your feet, anchoring into the feet, relaxing your shoulders. On your next inhale, as you reach your arms up, pull your right knee up. And then interlace your fingers around your thigh, pull your thigh into your ribs a little bit more. Activate your feet by pointing or flexing, and bow over your leg. Keep pulling up, not just with your hands, but with your core. And come on back up again. Again, reach your arms up And hold your foot again, your leg again, bow over, and start to stretch your leg back and your arms forward. Really reaching, reaching, reaching. And we'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Good, and pull your knee up. Reach your arms up. Pull your hip back as you straighten your leg forward. And slowly lower down. All right, notice if you feel super grounded now. We'll do that again because practice, we always learn something. You learn something like every time you do it, and especially when you do it back to back, you might find like a little secret that works for you that helps to make this really fluid and open and kind of freeing. So in your next inhale, sweep your arms up as you pull your left knee up. Squeeze it in nice and tight and bring your hands down. Hug it in even more. Bow over your leg. Keep lifting up through your leg, not just relying on your hands. And come on back up. See if you can hold that in, reach up. And then again, hold onto your foot, but keep lifting, lifting, lifting. And release. Step your arms forward and your leg back. Lift from that back inner thigh. And really reach from your fingers to your toes. Breathe. And then pull your knee back in again as you reach your arms up. Squeeze that knee in nice and tight. And shift back through your hips a little bit as you stretch your leg forward. And slowly lower down. Take a little break. Maybe roll up the shoulders a little bit. So standing on the left leg, pull your right knee up as you reach your arms up. Squeeze your knee in as tightly as you can. And then take your hands, give a little extra squeeze. And start coming in as if you're coming into warrior three. Keep lifting up. Your hands are just helping you. And then come on up. Reach up. Again, bring your hands down, helping you to lift your leg into your chest. And then stretch your arms forward, your leg back. Coming into warrior three, lift that inner thigh of the back leg and reach out through your toes. Reach out through your fingers. Breathe. And pull in again. Lift your knee up as you reach up. Pull your hip back as you stretch your leg forward. And slowly lower down. All right. So let's give ourselves a big hug after doing that. Just kind of rock a little bit from side to side. And reach your arms up, coming up onto your toes. And exhale, lower, forward fold. Step back into plank. Keep that lift like we've been practicing. And lower all the way down. Point your toes, inhale, curl up into your cobra. Exhale, stretch your chest forward as you lower down. Tuck your toes, stretch back to down dog. On your next inhale, sweep your right leg up. And on your exhale, step your foot all the way forward. Rotate your feet, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Lift the toes up and bring the toes in a little bit. So it's like you're a little bit pigeon-toed. And then practice stretching out the ankles. So invert the ankles, rolling toward the outside edge of your foot. And then evert, rolling towards the inside edge. And just go back and forth a couple more times. Come back to neutral and heel toe your feet in. We're going to come into a squat. So you can bring your feet in really narrow if you like to do that, or you can keep your feet wider. So it's harder to come into this narrow squat. I haven't even practiced this in a long time. I'm kind of surprised because it's easy to kind of fall backwards. So you can reach your arms forward, whatever kind of squat you're in. And lower your hips down. And we'll come onto our backs again. So gently hug your knees into your chest. And then keep your knees wide. Hold the back of your legs just above your knees and see if you can parallel your feet toward the sky. Keeping your shoulders down and your hips down. Do the best that you can. Now, if you can keep your shoulders down and your hips down, just reach your arms up. Maybe find your feet. Maybe something higher up on your legs. Gently pull your knees towards the floor as you press your big toe mounds toward the sky. And just a little rocking motion here. And cross your right ankle above your left knee. Take the fingers of your left hand and slide them between your right toes. So giving ourselves a little toe spreading action here. See if you can wiggle all the way to the base of your fingers and the base of your toes. And hold on to your foot with your right hand, and with your left hand, create a little traction in your toes. And then start to flex and extend. And you can massage your foot with your right thumb and twist your foot around. Just giving your foot some well-deserved appreciation. You know, we tend to take our feet for granted and our hands for granted, and maybe a lot of other things, but it's so important to remember to give them some attention and some care and some love. So spread your toes, slide the fingers out, reach your foot up toward the sky, and just notice the space between your toes. You can interlace your fingers on the back of your leg. Now see if you can push your four toes back, keeping the big toe forward, and then pull the four toes forward, keeping the big toe back. So can you move your big toe independently of your other toes? That's actually important to be able to do, because I was just listening to this podcast and they were saying that our brain has a separate compartment to be able to do this, whereas most other mammals do not have that. And circle your ankle. So try and keep your knee really still and just move from your ankle. And now cross your left ankle above your right knee, thread the fingers of your right hand between your left toes. Get all the way to the base of your fingers and your toes. Grab your toes, hold the base of the arch of your foot with your left hand and create a little traction there. And then some flexion and extension with a little massage help from your left thumb. Make sure you do some twisting in your foot. And spread your toes. Stretch your leg up in the air, hold the back of your leg, spread the toes. Now see, can you pull the four toes forward and push the big toe back? And can you pull the big toe forward, press the other four toes back? Just go back and forth. Good. Now give yourself one last hug, and we're going to stretch out for Savasana. Even if it's just for a minute or a little more, but take as much time as you have here. And just let your whole back relax to the floor. Feeling your whole body soften and relax. And just let your mind be still. move gently through your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, roll to your side and pause there just for a brief moment. Noticing how you feel. Noticing how your whole body feels. And gently roll up to a comfortable seat. Focus on your breath, moving in and out. Ribs expanding outward, releasing inward and downward. And feel that connection of your pelvis to the earth and the connection of the crown of your head to the sky. And the movement as we sit here in stillness, the movement of the breath. Please bring your hands together in front of your heart. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please click the like button if you like this video, tell your friends, subscribe, and most importantly, please leave me a comment. I really want to know how you feel. I want to know what you would like to see and just like to say hi. Okay, take care. Bye.